Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again today with 6 comic books. 4 were on my pull list. Two I pulled off the shelf, I do believe. And I also bought a couple of things off of eBay this week that aren't comics but are comic related. I bought a Milo Manara Erotic Oracle deck. It's just 30 cards with Milo Manara artwork on it. Pretty cool stuff. If you've never seen his stuff, he's a European cartoonist, graphic album guy, whatever you want to call him. I got those. And then I found these tarot cards, which is a Friends tarot card set that has Friends illustrations on them. So it's got not quite the quality of illustration that the Milo Manara ones are. But I just like cards, you know? I don't read fortunes, but I like cards. So I picked these up off of eBay just looking around for some fun cards to buy, and this is what I found. They'll go in my fun card collection. Now let me show you my top of the printer museum comics of the week I've got here. This is what's the name of it? Rubbernecker, issue number 2. I think this is, what's his name? Nick Berzoli? I think that was his name. This is from 2002. Man, it's 20 years old now. He did an indie guy who did this series called Rubbernecker, which is a bunch of short stories. I always liked it. I don't think I've read it in 20 years, but I pulled the cover out to look at because it's a pretty good cover. And of course, we've got Thor. What did I get? 330 here. Man, this is the forgotten time of, because it's 7 months before 337. This is by Bob Hall and Brett Breeding. The cry of the Crusader, repent or die, ungodly pagan. I just kind of liked that one, so I left it sitting out. Nice battle cover between 2 figures on a white background. I didn't even remember this comic existed, but it's been sitting in my collection since 1983. So I figured may as well give it a look. Whoops, there we go. Little Rubbernecker, little Thor. Comic shop news this week. Oh, are there 2 of them here? Might be 2 of them here. Guess they wanted to get rid of these. They stuck one of last week's in too. But I already got last week's. This week's has got Spawn on it. December Spawn. Oh, this is the one. There's going to be Spawn variants on all the Image books. So if you want to collect Spawn variants of all their books, go right ahead. I don't want to collect them. So lots of stuff in here. Looks like it's got tons of information on Marvel. Yeah. Elektra, Black and White Treasury. What's the Scoop? Why Should You Care? Radiant Pink. I'll probably check out Radiant Pink. Nightclub, Rick and Morty, Cthulhu. All right. Lots of stuff to check out in Comic Shop News. Then what do we have? Damn Them All, issue 2. Charlie Adler book. I liked issue 1 a lot. I thought the Charlie Adler art in issue 1 was some of his best. Simon Spurrier writing it. Sophie Dogson. Is she the letterer or the colorist? Let's see. Colored by Sophie Dogson. Lettered by Jim Campbell. I even forget what it did. There were some ghosts or demons. I can't even remember. I don't even remember what the first issue was about. I read it a month ago twice. But I remember enjoying it, and I really dug the artwork. So it's on my pull list. We'll be getting this one every month for however long it lasts. What do you got here? Rogue Sun, issue number 8. This series has been good. Part of the Massive Verse with Radiant Black. Superhero guy who inherited his father's super suit. And now he has to become Rogue Sun and fight crime. And I think he's in New Orleans or something. But solidly done. Let's see, who did this one? Parrott, Abel, Marquez, and Carey. Writer, Ryan Parrott. The artist is just named Abel, as in Jack Abel. A-B-E-L, but it's not Jack Abel. He's dead. Natalia Marquez, Becca Carey, and is the letterer. So I've been enjoying this one. Solid B. superhero story. Okay, then we got Batvark, the Earth Pig without vowels. I don't quite think this is a Cerebus in Hell, because instead of comic strips, we've got an actual comic book with all the various pieces. And it's got Dave Sim, Benjamin Hobbs, and David Birdsong. Absolutely nothing by Keanu Reeves. So I guess this is sort of a different thing from Dave Sim, and that they're turning Cerebus in Hell into an actual comic. But like I said, it looks like it's using the same cut and paste kind of figures, because Dave Sim can't draw anymore because of injury. But we'll have to see what the heck this thing is, because I don't know. Something new. Then we've got, there's another one that went on my pull list right away, The Approach. This one on my pull list, it's written by Jeremy Juan and Jason A. Hurley, illustrated by Jesus Hervez and Leah Caballero, colored by Brett Weldel, lettered by Ed Dukeshire. And I've liked the stuff Jeremy Hawn has. He wrote The Beauty and he wrote Red Mother, so I've liked both. He's an artist too, but he hasn't drawn a whole lot in recent years, I guess, because he's been writing. But I liked the first issue a bit. The art was nice. I would compare this to the movie The Thing. It's about these people in some little out of the way airport during a blizzard. They're all snowed in, and then like at the end of the first issue, a little plane crashes there, and there's some sort of there's a monster. There's some sort of monster on the plane. It turns out that killed us. So I think it's about these people being trapped in an airport in the blizzard, hunting a monster. We'll see what the second issue brings, because they just found out about the monster. I guess that's the monster at the end of the first issue. Then here are the two things I picked up off the shelf. Pulp Bites #1, and what by Pat Higgins. What got me on this was the what's his name, Charles Burns type art. Really going for the Charles Burns thing here. Not quite as pretty as Charles Burns art, but clearly influenced by Charles Burns and Black Hole and the other stuff he's done. So I figured I'd give this first issue a try and see how it is. Lots of people talking with weird messed up faces. This is a $5 one too, but man, nice cover. You know what? I actually passed up on a Dark Horse book that I was interested in. I picked it up. It was a new Kevin Smith one, something to do with the View Askew universe and Jay and Silent Bob or whatever. But Dark Horse makes such crappy physical comics. The cover was like tissue paper, and I was like, I just don't want to buy a tissue paper comic. This one at least has good sturdy cardstock cover and not tissue paper interiors. I mean that Kevin Smith comic was like as thin can be and I was like, forget it. I'm not buying this. It's too crappy a comic. Let's see, the last thing I got, something called Plush. I think this is by the guys who did vinyl, or at least the artist. Who is this? Doug Wagner is the artist. Doug Wagner is the writer. Daniel Hilliard is the artist. Rico Renzi is the colorist. Ed Dukeshire again on letters. Not the most interesting cover I've ever seen, that's for sure. A matter of fact, I saw this cover on the shelf and immediately ignored it. I didn't like the logo, I didn't like the cover, but then I picked it up and looked through it and recognized the art as the vinyl guy. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a read, since I enjoyed vinyl. There you go. And let's see. Being that I was sick all this week, I didn't get anything new done, but I'll show you something that's almost done, that's kind of done. And this is just something unusual for me, a landscape. I'm using this as part of my Gatsby project. This is going to be a Gatsby illustration eventually. But right now it's just a landscape. I got to do some more work on it. I think I just came up with an idea. I'm going to color it digitally, but I just thought up something I wanted to do to it first with pencil. This is Wolf's Carbon pencil. That's why it's so dark. But that's it. Like it didn't being that I woke up Thursday morning, Thanksgiving, with a sinus infection. I sat in a chair for the next 4 days and didn't get anything done. But that was done the week before, and I still got to work on it. But and you can see more of my Gatsby stuff at my Patreon, link down below, if you want to follow that and support me there. Otherwise, some art, some comics. You guys have a good week out there.